Yeah, we go.
Yes, so here's all the things that showed up.
But it's 3 days.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Scott should still be walking.
Still warm?
That's If you ever walked in with food, none of us recognize you. No, we didn't. I'm just going to say that the animals in Japan is not big enough to
Mr. Rockwell, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good to see you.
Good evening and welcome to our monthly meeting, August the 15th. We have a quorum tonight. Mr. Terrell will not be here. He had knee surgery this past week, and he sent his regards, and he's recovering well. And I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing him again real soon. So tonight we're going to ask our Cleveland ISD Superintendent, Mr. Stephen McCamus, to come and offer a prayer for us tonight.
Please stand. Bow with me. Father, thank you so much for bringing us together tonight in this great city of Cleveland. Father, continue to bless us with the many blessings you bestow upon us each and every day, for we know we cannot do what we do without you. Father, be with these city leaders tonight as they lead this meeting and make decisions that are in the best interest of the city and everyone involved. Fill their minds with your thoughts and let your words leave their mouths as they speak and make decisions. All this we ask in your name, Father. Amen.
Amen. Okay, now we'll do the pledge tonight. Let's first salute the American flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now Texas flag.
On honor of the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, item number 3, we have a, okay, we have a presentation here for a 5-year recognition of firefighter Jacob Watson. Mr. Watson is Chief Sherman here. Okay, Mr. Watson, thank you, man, for your service, everything that you do for the city, man. We just appreciate what you're doing and just keep up the good work.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. There's your 5 years. Okay.
So hold up like that, and can you shake the man's hand also if you don't mind, please? Okay, there, no, it's on. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Okay, item number 4 will be public comments. Any person with city-related business may speak to the council in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. The city council may not discuss or vote on any matter raised in public comments unless it is specifically on the agenda. To speak during the meeting, you must be recognized by the presiding officer. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person, and Ms. Alice will keep the time. And let's see, we have Mr. Gregory Montet Jr. Okay. Okay, and after him, we'll have Mr. Luke Garcia.
And we're on the same page.
Okay.
Thank you. Hey, do I need to change this or anything? All right, cool. So my name is Greg Monette. I am the VP of Land for Hart Homes, and this is Luke Garcia. He's a co-owner and VP of Construction for Hart Homes. And so we're building roughly around 20 homes out here in the city of Cleveland. I know there's a lot of other developments going on, but we chose to build in the city so that we can avoid mud tax and keep homes kind of affordable. We have one specific project. We've met with the city a few times, but we just wanted to catch this meeting because we're starting construction pretty soon. So we want to try to come with the remedy pretty soon. So we have a project on Jefferson Avenue. It's roughly 7 lots that we purchased already. We've already started permitting, and we're going to start construction next month. And we found out shortly before we closed on the property, after we got financing lined up, that there's a 1-inch water line servicing the entire street. And so after talking with the city, they came up to a bid of around $85,000 to replace the water line, and roughly about $16,000 to $20,000 in engineering fees. And I mean, that completely shoots the deal down. And we just kind of want to come up with a remedy that works for both us and the city, because we want to keep building in the city of Cleveland. We believe in the city, but for us to come in as builders to try to improve and bring tax revenue to the city to the tune of roughly about $20,000 to $30,000 per year, and for 10 years it's like 200, 300,000. We think that the city should be able to provide some kind of support so that we can continue building in the city. Because it's not a development, it's a tap into a city line, so at the most, we feel like we should only be paying the tap fees, you know, at the most. So just wanted to present one of the issues that we're having as a builder, and we want to work with the city, and we want to keep growing, so just wanted to present that concern.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Garcia, you have a word or?
Yes, just to add what Greg said, and again, thank you for letting us speak tonight on short notice. But just to expand a little bit, we discovered that the existing water line in place for these 7 lots, we're going to build 7 homes for some families that will initially reside in the city of Cleveland, will not suffice for these homes in terms of water pressure. So we definitely just wanted to work together in order to supply these 7 new homes in the city of Cleveland with adequate water pressure to provide for families that will eventually live here. So something we want to do is just work with the city on how we can come to a resolution on just ensuring that these water lines have adequate pressure for the homes that are built.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, now we have Mr. Elifers, 9143 Whitetail Drive. Eli Rios. Oh, okay.
Mr. Mayor, council members, well, first of all, I want to thank you for giving us the time to speak. My name is Eli Rios on behalf of our pastors, Terrence and Lori Levi, who are pastors of Fellowship Cleveland, and also the owners of Back Forth. We would like to invite you to a special day on August the 27th, 2023. That is August the 27th, 2023, and it's known as Friends and Family Day. We are pursuing to be involved in the city. We are pursuing to be involved in the city in general, not just in general, in specifics. So this is a kickoff as to what we want to do. We want to invite you. We're inviting our friends. We're inviting our family. We're going to have Fat Folks barbecue free. And also, we're also going to have some good times. So I personally, and on behalf of Pastor, want to say thank you. But we also want to invite you. Hopefully you'll be able to join us on that day at 10:15. It's on August the 27th. And bring your family, at least for fellowship, but also for some free food, okay? Be blessed.
All right. Thank you, sir. Free barbecue sound good. Okay. Okay, now we go on to item number 5, presentation by Linebarger, Goldman, Blair, and Sampson on collection on municipal fees, fines and fees, rather. We have Ms. Brandy, who was a Cleveland High School graduate.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and staff. My name is Brandy Stacy, and I'm with the Linebarger Law Firm. I'm here to give you a brief presentation on the services that we provide. In addition to the fees and fines, which I'm going to go over tonight, we also collect EMS and delinquent utilities. And as you may or may not know, Linebarger has a great relationship with the city, and we currently collect the school board taxes and the Liberty County taxes. Everyone, the mayor and council should have a packet, and I'd like to go over that with you now. Who are we? Linebarger is the largest collection law firm in the nation and has over 46 years of government collection experience. We have offices in 13 states and lawyers in all 50 states. We help courts collect delinquent receivables that might otherwise be lost, and that in turn generates revenue for the city. We are a no-cost city service to the city, as we are based on a contingent fee contract. We're able to collect and provide this service at no cost to the city, as the debtor pays a fee as authorized by the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 103.0031, authorizing a 30% collection fee on debts and account receivables, such as unpaid fines, fees, court costs, forfeited bonds, and restitution by a municipal court. What sets us apart? We have tailored programs that we use in our collection methods. Our adaptability, our communication, resourcefulness, and ability to adjust to systems and technologies as needed. We have proven results with our clients. And we have an experienced team for both the back end with the IT technical side and the front end with our staffs and liaisons. Our firm-wide resource consists of attorneys and professional legal staff. We have over 120 attorneys, and an attorney manages every project every step of the way. They also monitor legal standards and legislative matters. We have an operations staff that consists of 175 highly trained IT staff. We have in-house system architects, programmers, analysts, security experts, and network engineers. We have a firm backup in case of power outages, hurricanes, other natural disasters, and freezes. We have collectors that are full-time employees that specialize in collecting delinquent court accounts, that are trained by the Association of Credit and Collection Professionals, also known as ACA training, and this is to ensure that our debt collection practices and collectors are trained to abide by the standards of conduct for the industry. The firm operates 8 contact centers across the United States with experienced professional collectors who are bilingual or multilingual to accommodate all customers. These collectors are full-time employees who again are trained to provide the best customer service and security. Our contact centers cover all 4 U.S. time zones, allowing us to reach individuals in full compliance with all regulations. Our professional services are top tier. Weinbarger prides itself on setting the bar for the highest quality of service. Our collection efforts include inbound and outbound call and letter campaigns, advanced skip tracing, monthly portfolio reports, and specialty campaign assistance such as warrant roundups. We call these our non-traditional collection methods. Weinbarger uses skip tracing on all of our accounts. We use 6 to 8 skip tracing companies at one time to ensure the most accurate and up-to-date contact information, including the NCOA, which is National Change of Address if anyone forwards their address. As stated earlier, we have 8 call centers that can accommodate all debtor calls to guarantee the best customer service. For account resolution, Weinbarger doesn't accept any payments. We refer all the debtors back to the court for payments. We have a GIS mapping tool, and if you have a dedicated warrant officer or someone that's able to issue warrants or door knocks with the police department, we have a free mapping center that shows the debtor all their information. It's basically a GPS of the defendants in the area. And lastly, our special mailings. These mailings can be initiated by the court and communicated to us in the form of a warrant roundup or resolution. A special letter is generated. It can be administered any time of the year, and it's usually 1 week. We've had proven great results with other municipalities. Weinbarger offers value-added services. For instance, we continue to collect and work on accounts until they're recalled by the client or if the debtor dies. Each client receives a dedicated liaison, like myself, that generates and delivers monthly client activity reports. Since we are a law firm, our attorneys are available to interpret state and federal statutes, regulations, and rulings that govern the collection of delinquent receivables, including the legislative team. Now that I've given you a little background, you're probably wondering, what's the process? Our client setup process is fairly simple. We first initiate contact with you guys. We review the proposed contract and agenda item postings with the city prior to being placed on the agenda for city council approval. Once approved, we begin the data collection process. The liaison collects operational information from the court, such as the hours of operations, payment methods that they accept, and we forward it to the IT contract manager for programming. The Weinbarger implementation then begins. A letter template is created and we reimburse the city for a module. I believe the court currently uses Odyssey software. We have a system that marries into that software. The only fee that would ever be assessed would be if you needed it, you don't have the collection module installed, which I believe that you currently do. That's the only fee that the city would be responsible for. Once they're invoiced by Tyler Technologies, we reimburse you for that as soon as you're invoiced, so technically there's no fee. The process after contract approval is 30 to 45 days. It's also at this time that you're assigned a liaison or a colleague like myself, but it would be me, and a dedicated IT contract manager for the account. What are the benefits of using Weinbarger? One, we're a law firm. We're able to provide general advice and counsel on matters affecting the collection process. Our letters show our letterhead, so when a debtor calls to inquire or get details, they know that we're a real law firm. Two, we're on a contingency fee contract, so that means there's no cost to the city. 3, we have a local office in Liberty, and we also have our headquarters for fines and fees collection in Houston. And since I will be the liaison, I'm in Cleveland quite frequently. 4, you'll have a dedicated liaison, which communicates with the court and the staff, and you'll have a dedicated IT contract manager, which works on the back end for any IT issues and reports. We provide monthly reports that can be used during city council meetings or during your budget to look and see transparently what it is that we're doing. Some of our current clients include Beaumont, Prairie View, Hempstead, Bay City, Magnolia, Montgomery County District Clerk and County Clerk, Montgomery County JPs, and El Lago. That's just a variety of different clients, but it's just to show you that we have clients with large populations and small populations. In summary, we serve more than 2,500 governmental entities nationwide. We're the largest collection firm in the nation. Our customer service and the pride that we take with each of our clients is second to none. We'd love to add you as a client. Switching vendors can bring about significant benefits to a city's operations and services. One key aspect of this transition is an intensified focus on customer service and revenue with the introduction of a designated direct contact person, which would be myself. I will assist with streamlining any and all communication, promptly address any concerns, and ensure a more personalized experience and transparency. Change is implemented from the bottom, involving frontline staff who interact daily with the citizens, which is you, the council. Simultaneously, top-down action is taken to oversee and support this transition, providing strategic guidance and allocating necessary resources. This dual approach fosters a culture of accountability, efficiency, and improvement, ultimately resulting in enhanced services that cater to the evolving needs of the city and its residents. I implore you to read over the presentation again, gather any questions you may have, and if possible and you want to move forward, place this on the agenda next month for voting. Thank you. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Randy. Okay, now we move on to item number 6, reports by members of council, to which no action will be taken. Start on the end. Mr. Butler, do you have any comments tonight? Mr. Ward? No, sir. Okay, Mr. Lowry?
Yes, sir, I do. The airport board met this last week, and there were some updates that the council needs to know about. They did have the hay cut and bale, so I doubt if they'll do it again with the weather like it is and as dry as it is. They did repair the ramp between E and F, and the runway lights is now 100% complete and are on full-time tonight. The AWAS system is up and running. Other than that, the meeting was nice, cordial. We got some things discussed, and we'll have some things for the next meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Lowry.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Davis? Okay. All right. Well, I have a comment. I just want to take my hat off to, the city employees. This is like 3 months that, I have been here. And to the first responders, the police, the firemen, the library, it's been a hot summer, and you guys have shown up every day. The services that y'all provide is really appreciated, and I know you guys work hard, and I know the library's had programs going on all summer. So has the Civic Center. Things are looking good, from what I see. And I want to take my hat off to the people that work here in City Hall. We've been short-handed, but they have really stepped up to the plate and worked hard. And hopefully here in the future, we'll get those positions filled. I want to take my hat off to the Public Works guys, Roger, Brooks, you guys, being mayor, I get calls and emails daily about different things that need to be done, but I will go to bat, for you guys and the work that you have done this summer. You know, probably 3-4 times a week. Every morning I get up and I ride all over Cleveland. You guys have been cutting grass, weeding, cleaning up. It's not going unnoticed. You know, I just want to take my hat off. And, you know, we have not had one heat-related incident. You know, so you guys are, you know, being safe out there, man. We just appreciate, you guys, you know, but, you know, in other words, I'm saying I think everything's going pretty good. Also with the economic development, you know, we got a lot of good things going on, and man, I'm just proud to, you know, sit here and be a part of this council. You know, I think that we got a lot of positives coming, and let's just take it one day at a time and keep working hard. Okay, Scott. No? That it? Aaron? Okay. All good. Okay, now we'll have a public hearing on the proposed budget for the fiscal year 2023 and 2024.
So if we've got anybody here that would like to speak on behalf of the budget for next year, this is the time that you're looking to speak.
Okay. We'll going once, going twice. Okay, hearing closed. Okay, now we'll move to item number 8. Consent agenda. All consent agenda items are considered routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member requests an item to be removed and considered separately. Okay. Do I hear a motion for the consent agenda?
Make a motion.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Ward, and I have a second by Ms. David. Do I have any discussion or comment? Okay, none. Okay. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay. Now, item number 12, acceptance of the fiscal year 2022 annual audit.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Mike Brooks, audit partner with Brooks Watson and Company, CPAs. I will be presenting you tonight with your annual comprehensive financial report for the year ended September 30th of 2022. I believe you all have a copy of the report, or have been provided one electronically. Before the meeting tonight, I have the privilege of meeting with the audit committee, talking about the report and the audit in more detail. So I'm going to give you a summary presentation tonight and then open it up to questions. Okay, first, just briefly, I want to go over the audit process. Just an overview. The audit can be broken into 3 general phases. The first being the planning and risk assessment phase. This is when we come out typically sometime during mid-year, sitting down with the city, the department heads, reviewing our internal controls and putting together our preliminary risk assessment and audit plan. The next phase is the bulk of what we do. This is the year-end field work. So after the books have been closed for the year, we are coming out and auditing all material assets, liabilities, revenues, and expenditures across all funds that do meet our audit threshold. And the final stage is the conclusion and reporting. So this is the wrap-up of any findings that we did have, the preparation and posting of the journal entries that were required to be made, and the preparation of the financial report itself and presentation and acceptance of that report. Next, Just want to give a brief overview of the major categories within your annual comprehensive financial report. First, you have the introductory section, followed by the financial section, which includes the auditor's opinion, management's discussion and analysis, the basic financial statements, the notes to the financial statements, and then the supplementary information, and finally the statistical information. The city has opted to prepare a comprehensive financial report as opposed to a standard financial report. So there are some additional sections within your financial statements that do provide some very good information. In addition, this report is submitted to the GFOA, or has been for the last 2 years, to be evaluated and possibly receive the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. This is a very prestigious award. The city has received this award both for 2 years running, the 2 years that it has been submitted. The current report will be submitted as well and evaluated, and we fully anticipate the city will receive this award again. I do want to point out what we consider to be the most important part of your report. This is our independent auditor's report. So this is our contribution to your financial statements. This report can have 4 possible outcomes, the best being an unmodified audit opinion and the worst being an adverse audit opinion. We have issued a clean, unmodified audit opinion on the city's financials. This is the highest level of assurance that we can give that these financial statements are free of any material misstatement, and all footnotes are disclosed. Next, I just want to point out several financial highlights. Total citywide cash and investments decreased this year by $8.4 million. This was offset by an increase in your capital assets, which is where the primary bulk of those funds were spent, of $7.7 million. So the city is investing in infrastructure and other capital assets. Your citywide net position had an increase of $3.5 million. Your governmental fund balances, so this is just your governmental funds, which include your general fund, special revenue fund, capital projects, and debt service, had an increase in fund balance this year, a decrease this year of $3.8 million. This was related to the expenditure of debt proceeds on capital projects. Your general fund alone had an increase this year in fund balance of $1.2 million. And your unrestricted net position within your utility fund, your water and sewer fund, had a decrease of $1.2 million. However, there was an operating income and overall increase in your net position. The operating income this year totaled $642,000 within your utility fund. And your citywide debt had a slight decrease this year of $250,000. So there was a small debt issuance, about $1.2 million in tax notes, but that was offset by debt payments made during the year. So overall, there was a net decrease. Next is a summary of your governmental funds, revenues, and expenditures. So just the major categories here. Your property tax increased this year to a total of $4,007,000. This was a $420,000 increase from the prior year. The tax rate actually went down, so this was specifically related to your appraised values going up this year. Sales tax also increased to $4.3 million, almost $4.4 million, which was a $461,000 increase over the prior year. Licenses and permits had a slight decrease of $65,000, and your intergovernmental revenue, which are grants, had a decrease of just under $200,000. On the expenditure side, your general government expenditures had an increase of $26,000. Public safety increased $520,000, and culture and rec had an increase of $200,000. Next are several highlights of your general fund. The city has a policy to maintain a minimum of 25% of unrestricted, unassigned fund balance within your general fund as compared to annual general fund expenditures. Over the past 3 years, the city has had an 80%, 74%, and 69% this year of unassigned fund balance within your general fund when compared to general fund expenditures. So overall, the general fund is in good shape and has a healthy unassigned balance. Next is the general fund budget results. Actual revenues exceeded budgeted revenues for a positive revenue budget variance of $923,000. So the city received $923,000 more than anticipated. Expenditures had a positive variance of $1.6 million, so the city expended $1.6 million less than anticipated. And your other sources and uses, which are transfers and other debt issuances, had a slight increase or a slight positive budget variance of $26,000 for an overall positive budget variance of just under $2.6 million. So assuming the city was able to accomplish everything you intended to when you did approve the budget and have positive budget variances, it's a sign of a healthy fiscal year. Included in your packet are 2 additional reports. One is our required auditor disclosure letter. This gives us an opportunity to discuss any issues we have with the completion of the audit, provide you with the journal entries that we did post as part of the audit process, and discuss any new accounting pronouncements that were adopted. We did not have any difficulties with the audit. Pam and her team did a great job for us. There was some turnover at the beginning, which pushed the audit back, but once all the pieces were in place, the audit went very smoothly. The city did adopt a new accounting pronouncement. It's GASB 87. This affected some leases and required restatement of your capital assets and debt, but overall did not have a significant impact. And we did have a few recommendations that we've gone over with the city in detail. Nothing we considered overly concerning, but there were a couple recommendations. Now that does conclude my presentation. If you had any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Okay, any questions, comments by council? Mr. Brooks, thank you for your service, sir. Scott, Pam, and the entire City Hall staff, appreciate the hard work y'all done. Y'all came in late in the ball game, and this audit was dumped in your laps, and you guys responded. And it's great anytime you get an audit and everything looks good. So I'm thankful for that, and once again, thank everybody for the hard work, and let's just build on that and keep it going. Okay, that's all I have on that one. Oh, yes, okay. All right, do I have a motion to accept the financial audit? Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Buckley. We have a second by Mr. Warwick. Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, none opposed, motion carries 4-0. Okay, item number 13, approval of fiscal year 2023 capital carryovers.
These carryovers are for fiscal year 2022. What it is, you guys have the supporting documentation that are exhibits A through H. And what it is that are previously approved projects for the city that were not completed by September 30th of 2022. We have to carry over that funding to the 2023 budget so that we can use it in this year to pay for the expenses this year. But they were approved in last year's budget. And if you'd like, I can go through each one by one. Y'all have any questions?
We already went over the audits of the board meetings. We're good. We already, the audit committee, we already went over all of it. So everything looks good. Unless anybody else have any comment or questions.
Here, I'd like to make a motion to approve fiscal year 2022 capital carryover.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Lowry. I have a second by Mr. Buckley. Any comment or discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, none opposed. Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay. Number 14, approval of contract with Blue Cross and Blue Shield for employee insurance.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. My name is Leo Gutierrez. Renson Benefits, we're your broker consultant for insurance. First of all, I want to hear more about the free barbecue. I'm coming in from Austin, Texas, is where I live, and I may have to drive up there for some ribs. As your broker consultant for your October 1 renewal, we went out to bid, formal bid process with various carriers, went through all the legal process. We received your medical renewal from Cigna, your current medical carrier, at almost a 50% increase. That renewal was probably driven by claims. In the insurance industry, we have a premium versus claims is what we look at. How much did the insurance company take in, and how much did they pay out in claims? And for every dollar that that the city paid for insurance, Cigna was paying out $1.50. So it was almost 150% loss ratio. So their increase of almost 50%, it was actually 49.17%, came in, obviously shocked us. We received a flat or a no increase from for your medical, for your dental and your vision insurance through MetLife. And then Blue Cross Blue Shield, who is your current basic life, voluntary life, and long-term disability carrier, came in with no increase as well. After the formal bid process was concluded, we reviewed all the bids. We met with staff here at the City of Cleveland, and we are proposing the recommendations as follows. You have a packet, and I don't have it up on PowerPoint, forgive me, but you have a packet that contains a cover sheet which pretty much lays it out into 4 different columns, if you will. So column number 1 is your current costs as it relates to medical, dental, vision, basic life, and long-term disability. Column number 2 is the exact same thing, but it shows your renewal numbers, if you will. So basically, column number 2 says, this is the change from column number 1. And if you look at the yellow highlighted area, hopefully yours is highlighted, you'll see that if we would have pushed repeat with Cigna on the medical, with accepting that 49% plus increase, the city would have paid out about $862,000 more than what they're currently paying. So after our review, we did all the review, we looked at everything, and our recommendation, Mayor and Council, is for us to move to Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is a very reputable carrier with a great network. We're going to make some tweaks in the plan design. Actually, some of the tweaks are a little better for our core plan. We have 2 medical plans that we offer right now. So for our core plan, our deductible is actually going to be on paper going up from $4,000 to $5,000, but we can implement what we call a health reimbursement arrangement, an HRA, which the city is going to fund part of the employee's deductible on that. We also are implementing a health savings account qualified plan. I'm sure a lot of you all have heard about health savings accounts and the ability for an employee to save money on a tax-free basis into this health savings account plan that doesn't ever expire. It rolls from year to year, so it's not a use it or lose it plan. It's a great option. So we've got a couple of different plans that we're proposing now from Blue Cross Blue Shield, which essentially I take you to the last column on this spreadsheet or this document, which shows instead of, again, yellow highlighted area, instead of paying the $862,000 and change, in addition to what you're currently paying as far as a renewal, you would actually be saving $61,000. So that difference is really what we're talking about now, from paying $862 to saving $61,000 by moving your medical insurance, also your dental and vision insurance to Blue Cross Blue Shield, thus packaging everything, every single insurance product that the city has with Blue Cross Blue Shield for medical, dental, vision, basic life, voluntary life, which is employee paid, and then your long-term disability. So our recommendation is to move forward with Blue Cross Blue Shield, adding that health reimbursement arrangement, adding the high deductible health plan, the HSA qualified plan, right? And then also approving the administration of those additional plans as well. So again, an overall savings of $61,000 versus paying more, or paying $862, now we're saving $61. So that's, what did we calculate the math on that, Scott? I think that was 900 and...
Almost 925,000.
Right, so pretty good deal. Not as good as free barbecue, but it's still a pretty good deal. Maybe a little better than free barbecue. Sorry. So that would be our recommendation from emergency benefits perspective to move forward with Blue Cross Blue Shield on all lines of coverage.
Sir,
Yes.
Angela?
I mean, I'm just in agreement with our advisor to move from Cigna to one carrier. It makes it a lot easier versus having one carrier for medical, one for dental. It'll just be straight across the board for Blue Cross Blue Shield. And because of the fact that we cannot stay with Cigna because it's just too much money. And so we're better off going with Blue Cross Blue Shield and saving.
I definitely agree, because when I saw those preliminary numbers, it looked too good. Okay, do I have any other questions or discussions from council on the insurance? Okay.
I have a question.
Okay.
On the deductible max, how does that work? The city, so they have a $4,000 deductible, correct?
Currently, you have a $4,000 deductible on the core plan, and you have two plans, right? So what we're doing is we're moving to a $5,000 deductible. However, there will be a back end, what we call a health reimbursement arrangement, an HRA, that pays $2,000 back to the employee. Basically, one simple phone call, the employee calls our advocacy service, the purple card, and says, I want to get my reimbursement. So the employee, thus, out of pocket on a net basis, is going to have a $3,000 deductible. That's $5,000 minus $2,000, right? $3,000 versus what they currently have right now in the core plan, which is a $4,000 deductible. Yes, sir.
Right.
And the health reimbursement account that we'll be utilizing to reimburse the employees those dollars are included in this plan.
Okay, right.
The city will be paying for those, but it's included in the discount.
It's essentially buying down your deductible, if you will. You buy a higher deductible, and with automobile insurance, right, when we buy a higher deductible, our premiums go down. So we buy a higher deductible, but then we back in HRA, or health reimbursement arrangement, only the people that need it, only the people that, and typically only 10% or so of a population is going to hit their deductible anyways. So it's a nice way to save money, buy a higher deductible and still kind of fund it on the back end.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Okay. No other questions or discussion? Okay, not, may I get a motion to approve the contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield for employee insurance? Okay, I have a motion by Ms. David. I have a second by Mr. Warwick. Okay, any other questions or comments on that? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, item number 15.
Thank you.
Proposed budget for fiscal year 2023, 2024.
And Mayor, procedurally, this is just posted if you all have a desire, because if there is a required budget hearing, it's just there if there's a desire to discuss it.
I do have one comment I would like to share. As of 6/16 tonight, we have finally received tentative calculations from Liberty County for a tax rate. And so just to make you aware, they're tentative, bold, tentative. So our known revenue tax rate would be 0.72135652 per 100 valuation. The voter approval tax rate for the city of Cleveland is 0.9688603939 per 100 valuation. And then they also listed the de minimis rate, and that's the rate that would increase your maintenance and operation by 500,000, would be 0.95254418, which is actually less than the voter approval rate. So, anyway, those are tentative, but I just wanted to let y'all know that we did finally receive these at 6/16. And when printed them also, we had those available for y'all to have tonight.
And that is a huge jump in the voter approval rate. That is because there was something with the calculation, an error made last year, which is why there's such a significant increase in the rate.
Okay, do we have any other comment or discussion? Okay, this will move to item number 16. Okay, we'll move to item number 16. Okay, record vote approval of proposed tax rate for fiscal year 2024.
And Mayor, I was just going to explain again what's happening procedurally as the law requires that you all take the record vote of what the proposed tax rate is. That doesn't mean you're setting the tax rate tonight, but that you want the tax rate that you vote on tonight. It's essentially you're going to go forward with the budget process for the year.
Sounds good. Okay, do I have a motion for the proposed tax rate? Okay, I have a motion by Ms.
We need to include the rate. And so what was being proposed, of course, we're going to have this information, but what's being proposed at this point is 0.715 per 100, which is the exact same tax rate as what we have today. So 0.715 per 100.
I'll have to make a motion of 0.715 per 100.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Davis. I have a second by Mr. Buckley. Okay, all those in favor of the proposed tax rate? Okay, motion carries 4-0.
Yes, it does have to be a record vote, so if you want to call each one individually.
Okay, Mr. Buckley. Mr. Warren. I'll do. Mr. Lowry.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Davis. Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay. Item number 17. Approval of Liberty County reimbursement letter. Scott, you want to?
Yes, in your package you have a letter that we have drafted to the county judge and commissioners for Liberty County. As you are aware, we have been in discussions with the county, the judge, commissioners, and the chief of emergency services for increasing the reimbursement contribution from Liberty County to the city. And so for the past several years, we have received $91,000 for emergency services. And so we have looked at the last several years and what our actual costs are that we receive for providing services outside the city limits to the county residents. And based on a per call basis. And so we have determined that for fire, that is about $375,000 a year is what that cost is. And then dispatch is an additional $25,000 is what our cost has been the last couple of years for those services. We've also estimated based on our current budget that we're working on, those rates will be increasing. And so this is something that we will need to be looking at in the near future and probably ongoing every year on what those costs actually are for the city to be able to provide the county residents that are outside the city limits those services of fire and dispatch and EMS. So we are requesting in this letter basically just a letter from the council that we would then present to the county judge and the commissioner saying we are asking for those funds. We have met with the chief and have asked that he request $400,000 this year to be included in the budget. The city reimburses. As we talked about last week in our budget hearing or our budget meetings, we have budgeted for that $400,000. And so to balance our budget, we are needing that $400,000 at this time to be able to make sure that we maintain our balanced budget going forward. So this is the letter. And so if you have any questions, we have included the spreadsheet that we looked at over the last couple of years of that data, as well as the average call cost for both dispatch and fire services.
Okay, Scott, could you also note the projected for 2024 costs?
So the projected cost for 2024, based on our budget that we are working on today, the fire cost for next year is roughly going to be about $547,000, almost $550,000 for fire, and these are for services to those county residents outside the city. And then for dispatch, those services are going to be about $57,500, a little less than that, for a total of just over $605,000 is what we're planning on. So we're asking for $400,000 based on our actual expenditures over the last couple of years, but we're estimating that our actual cost next year will be about $605,000. So we're asking for about 2/3, but it's what we've been averaging over the last couple of years.
Scott, so the county hasn't replied back to that?
No, they are in their budget process as well. And we have talked to the judge and the commissioners, at least our two commissioners, let me rephrase that. The two commissioners that we have in Cleveland, we have talked to, and they all seem to be very positive and supportive of this, knowing that we do service a lot of residents outside the city limits. There's a large population south of us that we are constantly servicing. That area continues to grow at a much faster rate than our city. You see it through our school districts, the growth that we have experienced in our school district. We're the fastest growing school district in the state of Texas. And a lot of that's coming from the growth that we have south of us, not inside of our city limits. And we are servicing by providing fire and dispatch to those services. So,
we just do the math on this. They have like over 100,000 people in that area. And the city of Cleveland, we might have, 8,000 people. And for us to be paying projected next year $605,000, I just don't see how we can do that.
And let me clarify, a big portion of this cost is related to two different things, especially on our fire side. One, we've had a SAFER grant that we received 3 years ago that will be expiring in November. And so our firefighters, our 9 paid firefighters that we have had for the last 3 years that have been paid through that grant, we will be taking on 100% of that come November or December 1st, because the grant goes through November. So that's the reason why there's a large jump a large portion of that jump is due to us now having to pay 100% for those firefighters instead of that coming through a grant. Plus, we are bringing online a second fire station that is being built in Grand Oaks that we will be utilizing. So we'll have 2 fire stations that we will be utilizing, as well as not paying 100% for those new firemen. And so it's been a great benefit that we've had this safer grant. The county has been able to enjoy having those services just as well as we have, but unfortunately, that bill starts coming in December, and we'll have to start paying 100% for that, and that's the majority of the reason why you see that large jump between what we've experienced the last 3 years to what we're going to be experiencing next year, and that's because we are now going to be paying 100% for the firemen and not the safety grant.
Okay, do you have any other comment or discussion on the approval letter? I would really hope that we can, come together on this, because it's just not, we just don't have it. There's no way that we can sustain that. And also it's not fair to our constituents here in the city. It's not right. So, do I have a motion to approve the reimbursement letter to Liberty County?
Make a motion to approve it.
Second. Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Buckley, I have a second by Mr. Lowry. Okay, any other questions or discussion? Okay, if not, all those in favor? All those opposed? 1. Okay, motion carries 3-1. All right. Okay. Item number 18, approval of attachment B to the contract with Blau Engineering regarding fee changes.
Good evening. So in your packet, you will find the revised proposed engineering fees for Blau Engineering's hourly rates. This is something we have with all of our municipalities and our clients that will change from time to time. The last time we revised our rates happened to be in 2020 prior to our contract with the city of Cleveland. So we're here tonight asking for an amendment to y'all's contract with us to accept these new fees. I do want to note that this does not directly impact the day-to-day activities that fall underneath your retainer that we have with the city, but more so these hourly rates would affect things like your projects that you want us working on within the city, or feasibilities for things like your water plant improvements, sewer plant improvements, stuff like that. So it does not affect the day-to-day and like me being here at council tonight, but more so for projects in the future that we proceed under an hourly rate.
Okay. Do we have any questions or discussion on the attachment of the approval of the new rates? Okay, if there are no questions or discussion, okay, do I have a motion to approve the attachment fee to the contract with Blau Engineering regarding fee changes? Okay, do I have a motion? Okay, any discussion?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept Blau Engineering fee charge.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Lowry. Okay, I have a second by Mr. Warren. Okay, all those in favor? Okay, Motion carries 4-0. Okay. Item number 19, accept bids for real property, Holt's Edition, Section 2, Lot 1, Lot 12, and Lot Acres 09986, vacant lot at MLK Drive.
Mayor and council, this was the piece of property that was on the agenda for sale last month. There was a discrepancy in the location, description, and property description, and so we have gone back to Lineberger and requested them to do some clarification, and that's what they have provided for us today. And so we are now asking, now that we've got the clarification, to now ask for your approval on the sale. Again, the county has already approved selling of this property. The school district has already approved the resale of this property. And now it's for us to approve it so that they can sell the property. The bid amount is for $7,000. And basically what this will allow us to do is get this property back on the tax roll. Hopefully the new buyers will improve the lots in its current condition, and we'll then start paying taxes on this lot going forward, and that'll be a revenue generator for us going forward.
Okay, Scott, I do agree. Okay, any other questions or discussions? Okay, do I have a motion to accept bids for real property and Holt's Edition?
Make a motion.
Okay, I got a motion by Mr. Buckley. Did I hear a second?
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I'm still trying to figure out where the property is. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure out where the property is.
That's the one that we went to. So we took a drive there and it's directly down MLK. It's on the left-hand side right before you get to
The dead end.
Yes.
It's right before, it's after, there's a mobile home.
And then there's like an area where there's, I think, some horses or something like that. And it's a wooded area. It's completely wooded.
There's nothing there. It's right before you get to McLean's property.
Yes.
Okay,
It's
okay.
right
Okay,
down, if you're going
Right on
towards
the
the
left-hand
left side.
okay. I know where it's at. Okay, second.
Well, Roscoe, I can't say you know I'm this man. Well, honestly, I was trying to figure out what it was myself. Honestly.
I'm not sure why.
But it's good that, you know, we can get that money, that property back on tax roll.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be a good thing. Okay, all those, do I have a motion to accept the bids for real property? Do I have a motion by Mr. Buckley? And I have a second by Mr. Warren. Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 3-1. Okay, motion carries 3-1. Okay. Okay, now we go to item number 20, ETI's fuel reconciliation settlement proposal.
And Mayor, just to explain what this is the city participates in a coalition of cities that are served by Entergy, and we have a law firm, the Lawton Law Firm, that represents this coalition, looks out for the cities with respect to the rates and charges. This relates to $103 million undercharge that Entergy wants to carry over into next year, and the law firm Lawton that represents the cities negotiated it down to $99 million and suggest that you accept this. This is pursuant to what they call a grid proceeding, which is in essence an agreed upon procedure, and where Entergy will pay the city's legal fees. There's no cost to the city.
Okay. Do I have a motion after the explanation Mary Ann is not going to be any cost, to the city. That we accept the ETI's fuel reconciliation settlement proposal.
I make a motion.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Ward. I have a second from Ms. David. Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, item number 21, grease cleaning ordinance. Mr. Brooks.
Good evening to you all. So there was I look at the ordinance, to me it wasn't right for the contractors to give us our notice on when they was coming to remove the grease from vendors, cities, and the restaurants as far as restaurants and so forth. So I want to extend that to a 24-hour notice. That will give us time to plan ahead instead of dropping what we're doing, make sure that they get the job done. This will be planned ahead, 24 hours ahead of time. That way we'll have designated, we have a time slot. Okay, you come this time, somebody will be there for you when you remove that grease from the area to outside and to check to see, make sure the job is done. Okay, just a few minor things.
Okay, with that 24 hours, would that be enough time? Think so?
I have a question on this. So, city employee group, supposed to have a city employee there on grease trap clean, correct?
Correct.
Why do we need to watch them clean the grease trap? Is my question.
Well, you have some companies out there that tell you to clean it, but they don't. And in the long run, that affects the infrastructure as far as sewer lines, stuff like that, and cause problems later on the line.
But then why aren't we watching someone test the backflow to make sure it's correct?
Why did somebody test the backflow?
I'm saying, why don't we have someone test the backflow to make sure they're correct?
Some things we have to let them understand, okay, we can't watch everything. We have other things to do also.
Well, say in Houston, you got a manifest for the grease trap. Comes, sends in, signs off,
Yeah,
same thing.
we get a copy of whatever they do, backflows, grease traps, certification paperwork, just like that. But we can't, City of Houston is a big place. We're a small entity. So you gotta understand, if they're gonna get tested, we have one of our guys do the testing in the city. Just backflows and so forth.
Yes.
So we try to cover as much as we can and move forward.
No, yeah, I just feel having someone sit out there and they get a 24-hour notice and they can tell you the time.
Well,
and
if they don't,
they can be there for
no,
you.
but this is the thing, if they don't, if they give us a time, 24-hour notice, they have to tell us what time they're gonna be there. If they're not there, then it don't get done.
So are y'all getting a direct time or y'all getting
No, a direct time of when they're supposed to be there.
I just want to make sure you ain't got a
No.
variance and we're just
If
sitting
they
there.
said they're gonna be there at 8:30, they're gonna be there at 8:30. If not, then we got postponed for another time.
Okay.
Okay? Sweet.
That's one clarification.
You got it.
Rod, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On the fines of these, have we ever fined anybody for this?
As far as I've not to my knowledge, since I've been here, I don't know.
Because I really think we need to watch that part of it, because I know these.
It causes problems in the sewer plants eventually, and it clogs up, backs up sewer everywhere. So yes, I will look further into it. You're welcome.
Okay. There is no other questions or discussion. Do I have a motion to modify the grease cleaning ordinance?
I make a motion we approve the grease cleaning ordinance.
Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Lowry. Second by Mr. Ward. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay. Disposal, item number 22, disposal of demo of assets, the first library structure.
Mayor, council. The first library structure is in a state of disrepair. It was first purchased October 1954, was decommissioned as a library in 1957. When it rains, there's pooling of water. When it rains, lawnmowers get stuck mowing around the building. It has been infested with termites. Windows have gotten broken out of it. It's not a secure building. Has not had electricity since I've been at the library, 1984, nor has it had gas. At one point in time, the building was used as storage for the Chamber of Commerce, which was the second library building, and that had to get demolished due to its sagging roof and structural issues. And the city needs to do something with this building. It's just an eyesore. It's kind of a derelict building. And I have included pictures so you can see. We have a roof that's growing into the tree.
Where's the building at?
Right next to the library. It's a white building on the side.
Don't go over there.
Shame on you.
I go to the library and I want to see that building. Yes, I did. You have to be looking for it, because you don't know this. I'll be going to the library to take care of business. I ain't got time to look at it.
How long ago was this, Mary?
Since I started, I'm the baby. I was a baby in library training.
So we want to demolish it, is that correct?
So we need to get the city to authorize us to dispose of an asset. And we need to get approval, and then we need to know what direction the council wants us to go. Do we want to go ahead and demo it and do away with it, which there is probably asbestos in that. We like to probably mitigate to demo it, or because it's the first library, do we want to do the same thing similar where we put it in auction as we did the train depot? Our recommendation is to demo, but we want to get that recommendation and guidance from the council on how you would like to dispose of this asset. But we definitely need to part ways with the first library, one way or the other, whether it's demo or have somebody else.
The termites are kind of demoing it now, and when a piece of wood falls off, we put it to the side, and Public Works will come and collect it periodically.
What's in that building?
Junk, trash. And there are some Christmas decorations that we have used on city Christmas floats. I know that at one point in time, one of the guys at Public Works said that if there was anything that needed to be stored over at Public Works, like a tree that's a wooden tree, or there's like a wooden painted globe for future decorations. It's not, but there's a few lights and stuff. It's all basically Christmas. There's some things still left from the Chamber of Commerce when they used it from storage, when they had decorations, some Rotary Club paperwork. It's trash.
I make a motion we demo the first library.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Lowry. I have a second by Ms. David. Are there any other questions or discussion on this item? Okay, if there are no other questions or discussion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, item number 23, we search for code enforcement officer.
Hello, Mayor and Council. How are y'all doing today? So, do want to go over our code enforcement. As you all are aware, that position is currently vacant. So we do have it posted on our Cleveland, Texas website, as well as TML and Texas Workforce. One thing about code enforcement is that you do have to have certain requirements in order to obtain that license by TDLR. So we have not had any qualified applicants that have submitted, their resume for this position. So I am aware we do get complaints, and I see it. I drive around in Cleveland, and I do see it, so I understand where that frustration does come from the community of seeing overgrown yards, you know, items where they're not supposed to be. I get it. We're just kind of trying to work through on how to properly address the issues. I can only do so much before I can't do anything because I do not have that license. So I did reach out to our third party who does our plan review, which is Safefield. I do have Ms. Tracy here with Safefield as well. They do offer code enforcement for us. So I did speak to them, and Ms. Tracy can answer any further questions y'all may have for that. We are able to do an amendment to go ahead and have them assist us on doing code enforcement. After getting that done, we had a discussion. My proposed to them was to kind of do it to where we have it for 2 days a week, 4 hours each day. I believe with the help of the complaints that we do get, we can let them know, okay, these are the complaints that we're getting. I think where the translation kind of gets lost is that the community, it's, hey, we put a complaint in, can we get it taken care of right then and there? There's a process we have to go through. We have to go approach the residents, let them know that we received a complaint. They have 7 days to take care of it. If it is not done within those 7 days, then we have to go and we send a certified notice to them. They get 30 days to respond to that. If they do not respond to that, then we move on to the next chapter of that. So it's not something to where we get a complaint, we could go take care of it ourselves. High weeds and grass, I know that is a major thing that we do get. However, we go take care of it, we go through that process, and we get to the point to where the city takes care of it. It's the city funds that are getting that, getting the yards mowed. And yes, we can send them a letter, they can pay us back for it, but 9 chances out of 10, sometimes that does not happen. So, and then at times it is repeat offenders because they know, okay, well, they'll take care of it after 2 months of, they follow the process, they know how the process works. So then we end up taking care of it again for them. And so with having Safefield come on and being able to do that, we ran some numbers to be able to have them here. We're looking at weekly at $1,075 per week. You multiply that with 52 weeks, it's about $55,900 a year to have that taken care of. That is less than what the salary is for a code enforcer of what they are arranging for that to fill that position. So I think until we can fill that position, if we can have Safefield be able to step in and take care of that for us, and that would at least, let the community know, hey, we are taking the correct measures on getting this taken care of and enforcing it. By all means, I don't want to go into just going to the community and saying, get it taken care of, we're going to put all these fees on you. I want to be able to work with them and let them know, hey, we're giving you a week, get it, what do you need, get it taken care of. I want to be able to work with the community rather than coming to them and saying, hey, you're automatically going to get a certified notice and get it, I want it to be a better transition for the community in that sense, and I believe Safefield can offer that for us.
And this also includes, it's a code enforcement officer, and that's more like the high weed and mowing, that portion of it. But then there's also the other side, which is like your substandard structures, and working through that process. And that process requires both a code enforcement officer and a building official. And so that fee that is quoted includes having the code enforcement officer here to do the code violations, but then also having a building official some of those hours a week to help with the substandard. That's a whole other process that you have to go through to make sure that is done properly and correct. And what Daniel kind of mentioned as well is that there is stuff that we have to provide, and these different processes that the state law requires us to allow these different notices because they do have rights. And so as property owners, they have rights. And one of the things that we even have is people that are staying in abandoned houses or substandard structures. It may not be their property, most likely it's not their property, but those people have rights too, and you still have to give them notice and give them things to work with them to do that. And that's all part of this program that we're looking at. It's not ideal. We would wish we would be able to get code enforcement, this is the worst time of the year to be without a code enforcement officer when the grass is growing because it's hot. The good thing is we haven't had a lot of rain, so most of the grass at this point is burned up, and so it's not growing, but we definitely need to get this in place. So we're seeking direction tonight on this portion also, that if this is a direction that the council would like us to go in the interim, then we would bring back the contract in September for us to add this amendment to our contract with St. Joe so they can provide these services until we can provide a code enforcement officer. And that's one of the things that we see across the state right now is that building officials and code enforcement officers are in high demand. Lots of cities are looking for those positions, and it's extremely hard to fill because of that. So.
And there are requirements for that because I have looked up with TDLR, okay, what does it require for somebody to become a code enforcer? And believe it or not, it is a couple years before somebody is even certified to be able to, be a code enforcer because they have to start off as a trainee. That class is $550. It's 36 hours that they have to do. After that, they have to sit under a building official and do all these hours. Unfortunately, because we don't have, not a building official, my apologies, a code enforcer. Unfortunately, because we don't have a code enforcer, we can't bring in a code enforcer in training because they don't have somebody overseeing them to sign off on their hours. And they have to be under them for a year. So that's where we're kind of, hitting kind of a brick wall on that one. So I believe until the meantime, until we can fill that position and find the right person for this position, I think Safeco would be a great option to be able to bring in and to assist us and help us with that. I want to be able to work with them, get a list. I don't want to have it to where we're just not applying it. My biggest thing, I want to be able to work with law enforcement as well. Hey, do you see anything that, while y'all are patrolling, do y'all see anything, let me know so we can make sure we make time of those 8 hours that we are requesting.
So let me understand, we're going to hire these individuals for 2 days at 4 hours a day.
Yes, sir. And that was just an option that I kind of threw out there just to see what I think Tracy can kind of speak on what that could cover and how much effort that would make as well.
Council Mayor, Tracy Rodriguez with Safeco. So when we contract with the municipality for code enforcement services, it is usually an on-site for 4 to 8 hours in a week, whether it's a single day or it's spread out over a couple. As momentum grows, there is also administration hours, notices, dropping stuff off at the post office. So the more code enforcement we take on, the more hours we can add, but it's not extreme, right? If we're running 30 cases for a city, it's about 4 hours a week. So it's not terrible. What we had discussed was utilizing law enforcement also so that we could try to take a more proactive approach on the high grass and weeds. If we see it and we document it, our code enforcement officer seeks compliance first. We don't seek enforcement first. What that means is we're going to get out of the vehicle and we're going to walk up to the door and we're going to ask, is there something that's preventing you from mowing the yard? Is there something going on why you can't get these old appliances out? Or whatever those cases are. A lot of times people hit a unforeseen event, and sometimes they just need help, but they're too afraid to ask for the help. Sometimes it's just, they don't want to mow the yard because it's 100 degrees. Well, sorry, you need to mow the yard. If you don't, this is what happens. We have found that seeking compliance is much more friendly for the council and the mayor. It helps reduce those phone calls of frustration and anger because they're getting certified letters. And as mentioned, trying to seek compliance helps also if we have to go all the way to a substandard structure and force eviction and or demolishing the structure, right, and seeking liens and that kind of stuff. So that's one of the advantages to this. But yes, you're correct. It can start off easily with 4 hours twice a week, and we start off on the complaints that y'all are getting and focus on those, and then try to use law enforcement to help in some other areas.
What other cities do y'all currently provide code enforcement
For code enforcement, so we do code enforcement in Dickinson, Wallace, East Bernard, We are talking to Splendora up here. We do some standard structures in Katy. They're building officials, a little younger guy. We also do substandard structures with the code enforcement group with the city of Manville. We handle it for Iowa Colony. So, yeah, quite a
You got
few.
several in this area.
Yes, yes. So, a lot of times it's more substandard structures because that's where code enforcement walks up and says, gee, there's holes in the wall. Oh, where's the building official?
Well, Danielle, you and Scott, I want to thank y'all, for bringing this to us because, I've talked with Scott several times in the last 3 months. We really, really need to do something about the code enforcement. I get calls daily, I get emails daily, and we just got to do something about it. And we just got to get a handle on it because it's to the point now where it's out of hand, and it's just not a good look for the city.
Absolutely agree.
For the people, we just going to have to clean up. We just got to do better because like I said, I get emails daily, and it, and the sad part about something when people are discussing a concern, and you know that it's true, but I know we need to clean up. So I just hope that we have the support here and we can go ahead and get this moving with Safeville, where we can go ahead and try to get a handle on this.
And one of the other things that we have talked about, Danielle and I, is that, we wanted to try to do some educational things as well. So we're trying to help promote, whether it's through utility bills, through social media posts, working with Ashley and so forth, to be able to do some educational. Maybe some fun educational posts and stuff to try to encourage people to take care of their property. And then like, Tracy was saying in Safeville that, they want to come in and also try to encourage compliance instead of doing the enforcement. So the more that we can do on the forefront to try to get people to take care and have pride in their own property and their assets and take care of them, the better off we'll be. And then hopefully we can reduce some of the number of things that we have to do in actual enforcement.
And also, it might be a good point if we can stress to the citizens to start using the heavy trash pickup day. Because we got people that's dumping couches and mattresses and, right in by schools. And that takes away from Roger. And he got to shut his crew down to go move furniture somebody been dropped off by, in Glen Park.
Right.
And we have that heavy trash pickup day the last Thursday of each month. Or they have the dump down across from the city park. All you gotta do is just call in and they'll have somebody down there where you can dump it. But it's just like the Wild West now. Since we don't have a code enforcement, people just it's not good. So I just like us to get a handle. Okay. Thank you, Danielle.
You're welcome.
Okay. So do I have to? Can I get do I have to record a motion on that to go ahead and?
That was just that.
Okay.
So we will bring back a contract from Safeville for a contract amendment to include code enforcement and substandard enforcement at the next council meeting.
Good. Thank you. Okay, we'll move right along to item number 24. Award a contract with Wendell Kelly Construction Company for the purchase of a pavilion to be constructed for Food Truck Fusion from the Economic Development Corporation. Mr. Reynolds.
Where's council, good evening. Yes.
The EDC board, you know, that's one thing the economic development could do is things like parks and events, places and like that. On the board, you know, we're looking at projects to do and things we could do. Well, you look at our old fire station lot, which is at the corner of Hanson and I believe St. Jacinto. Now, that crossing was closed, and since we got that old lot, it was cleaned up, and the Public Works, they leveled it, and we've got grass there, they keep it up. Food Truck Fusion started going there last Christmas, EDC and the city and the chamber. We purchased some Christmas decoration to put out there. So it gives our citizens another, you know, location in our city where you can go have an event or have things going on, but we have a Food Truck Fusion going on there. The board made a recommendation, we put a big pavilion out there. We received 3 quotes on it. Wendell Kelly being the lowest bid. The second was Cleveland Supply. They came in second. The board made a recommendation to go with the second one because they didn't know that the first one was talking, it said galvanized, but it does have color. We have a color chart. But anyway, but the board did approve doing this project, so I need council to approve it, and then we'll take that pavilion and have it put up. But it gives us this another location for, just like Miss Ashley and what she does. Too, when they moved the food truck from Stansel Park over there, a lot more people start showing up.
Mr. Reynolds, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Wendell Kelly Construction is $1,000 cheaper.
Yes, sir.
And they're willing to paint it.
Sorry?
And they're willing to paint it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It will come with a color, and I have color charts in my office. Now, I'll give you, if y'all approve it, I'll get back to the board and we'll select colors.
So then there's no difference between the two bids except for the difference in price?
In price. Yes, sir.
The only difference I see between them is Wendell's is a 10-foot tall and the other two are 12-foot tall. So that's another square footage there of traffic for you to also look at.
Any questions?
I do.
Okay, do I have any other questions for Mr. Reynolds? Any other comments? Discussion? Okay.
Can we, I don't know if we can send it back and get it with the 12-foot, so it's.
Yeah, and I'll discuss that with you.
Just so it's the same, so we can see what the
Yeah,
price
it's supposed to be equal to equal.
Yeah.
Because they both bid by the same.
Yeah, so the other two bids show 12-foot and the
Right.
show 10-foot.
So let's table it.
Table it.
And get them to come back with the same bid.
For the 12-foot.
I make a motion we table this.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Lowry to table the Pavilion project until next month, and I have a second by Mr. Butler. All those in favor to table? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, item number 25. Recommend a nomination for Liberty County Appraisal District Board of Directors to fill a vacancy. Okay, so.
No, I do not, but Mr. John A. Mayer Jr. has resigned from the District Board of Directors, and so they're requesting nominations from those members so that we can have nomination, and they will be sending out later this month nominations for people to vote to fill that position.
Okay.
So if the council chooses, we don't have to nominate anybody. But if the council would like to choose to nominate somebody for that, we would need to approve that.
All right. Now, I had a person in mind, but I hadn't had chance to talk to them. Did anyone else have anybody in mind? Could we table that, or do y'all want to just not nominate anybody? But it would be good to have somebody from Cleveland, in that position.
Have one Cleveland, one of the positions already.
No, we don't have anybody from Cleveland. It would be good if we could get somebody from Cleveland. I have a person in mind, but I haven't got an answer yet. Unless anybody else have somebody in mind for that position. If not, I would like to maybe table that.
It's just table it until, talk to whoever.
But we need somebody from Cleveland on that position.
I second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Warren to table the appraisal board of directors. I have a second by Mr. Lowry. All those in favor?
I was gonna say that, we do need to give a nomination, so they are going forward. So if y'all maybe want to approve it, the gentleman or lady that you have in mind, if they approve, if they agree to it, then we nominate them and submit that into them tomorrow. If they don't,
Okay,
we'll provide a
I want to nominate Mr. Richard Boyette for that position. So,
Roscoe needs to redo his motion.
we table, but we gotta have somebody tonight because they're gonna submit it.
They wanted by yesterday, but we're meeting tonight, I think they see it, so.
Okay, do I have a
Need a motion in a second.
Do I have a motion for Mr. Boyette?
If he would choose to.
If he would choose to, I'm not for sure if he would. But as I say, it would be beneficial to us to have somebody.
I make a motion we approve Mr. Boyd as well.
Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Lowry. Do I have a second? Okay, I have a second by Ms. David. Okay, all those in favor? Okay. Two for, 2 against. It's a tie. Okay. We got 3. Okay. All righty. Now that's if he decides. I'm not for sure. But if not, I guess we won't have anybody, represent Cleveland. Okay, consideration and possible appointment to the following boards and commissions. Airport Advisory Board. Okay, now that one, that's supposed to come from myself. And I have Mr. Dustin Newell. And we have done some vetting on him, and he comes highly recommended. And I nominate Mr. Dustin Newell for that airport board.
And the mayor, the ordinance requires approval of council.
Was it?
But you make the nomination.
Yeah. But it has to be approved by council. I nominate Mr. Dustin Newell.
Is Dustin and John the same person?
Yeah. John Dustin. Okay, all those in favor? Did I have a second?
I make a motion
Can I second?
No, we can't.
I need a second. Okay, I got a second by Mr. Ward. Y'all got my head.
That's all right.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Lowry and I have a second by Mr. Ward. Okay, all those in favor of Mr. John Dustin Newell? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, now the Parks and Recreation Board, that have to come from council.
I have a recommendation for the Parks and Recreation for Mr. Rudy Overtree.
I'll second it.
Okay, have a motion, and for Mr. Rudy Ogletree? Yes.
Overstreet, I'm
Overstreet,
sorry,
I'm sorry.
Overstreet.
Okay.
I get talking like you.
I think I have.
Should be in that package.
Okay, I got it. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Okay, all those in favor of Mr. Overstreet? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 3-0. Okay. All right. Also, the Building and Standards Commission. Okay, we need some, that's another council.
I don't have any.
Okay, does anybody have any suggestions? Okay, well,
We could put Robert Reynolds on. Never mind.
so, okay.
Are they gonna start
Thank
meeting?
you. Go, just move on. Okay, now on the, Board of Adjustments, Zoning Board of Adjustments. Do I have to come from council?
Is it a zoning condition? I'm just trying to follow.
Zoning
Oh,
board.
Zoning is an alternate.
Zoning, yeah, zoning commission. Yeah.
Yes, it's an alternate.
It's all in the position there, it's still like that. And what we can do on all these that we still have available is we can get, Vicky to update the post and that request from Ms. all boards that have vacancies, trying to continue to get applications for those positions. So, he listed a couple of the boards, last week, and we've had several applicants, so it seems to be working, so we can reach back out, some of the zoning as well, and get some.
On the zoning board of adjustments, if somebody come off, or we just trying to fill their alternate?
Just an alternate. I don't think we have one for people on there.
We have, we have, two alternates. There's one that's on there that's,
On the
that needs to
zoning?
come off.
On zoning? Who's coming on?
There was one that's listed on there, Plummer.
Yeah, Jim Plumlee is an alternate.
Yeah, and Danielle, which one was the one that we had no
That's
contact
what we
with?
were talking about. Is that what, did we jump on?
And was it, no, there was one other one that we don't receive any response from.
Yeah, we have no,
John Minnick?
John, usually there.
Huh?
John usually shows
Here,
up.
I can tell you real quick.
Kim Plumlee.
Okay, Sonia Driver moved to a member, if you remember, a couple of months ago.
Right.
She was not, we moved her to a member. Jim Plumlee is the one we have no contact on. Or no, John Manatee. That's it. John Manatee is the one we have no contact on. He's still listed, but, I'm sorry, it's not John Manatee, it is Jim Plumlee. Jim Plumlee is the one that's an alternate. So we have, we have no contact on, and then we still have two vacants. Two vacant positions too. So what we need to fill, is we need to fill three.
Yeah, three alternates.
Yes, we need to fill three alternates, but we really do need those. We were put in a position the other day that was not a good position for the zoning board of adjustments or the city of Cleveland. So if anybody has anyone You see it there, Roscoe?
We just jumped a spot, that's,
Yeah.
we're talking about vacancies, I didn't see one on.
We need those 3 filled.
No, y'all kinda got me, 'cause y'all, we was talking about zoning, then all of a sudden, I'm looking, y'all talking about board of adjustment, I ain't see y'all, y'all switch so quick, I ain't know y'all catching up. Y'all just jump, one thing to jump, I don't know what y'all doing. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I think you're thinking of Joel Lopez.
No, it's a Jim Plummer, zoning board of adjustments.
Okay, well, we can, work on that next month. Okay, all right, thank you, sir. Okay. Okay. We'll now, go into executive session. The city of Cleveland reserves the right to adjourn into executive session at any time during this meeting to discuss as authorized Texas Government Codes 551071, consultations with attorney, 551072, deliberations about real property, 551073, deliberations about gifts and donations, 551074, personal matters, 551076, deliberations about security devices, and 551086 about economic development. We will now, that'll be 7:48.
You don't want to sit over there with y'all. He does not want to be over there with y'all.
It gets a little cramped over here.
He wants to eat his chips over here and private. And he ain't sharing.
You moving over to the other side?
I think the other two are 12.
Oh, well, you got
Gotta take it.
Yep.
Y'all are not team
I've
players.
seen that can, go on can over there, so.
Only one I got.
That's okay.
It was meant for you, huh?
See, I don't know if I've gotten a headache and those lights are awfully bright. There's lights that are awfully brighter than me.
Whatever they
They
were.
are brighter than normal.
They were little.
I know, that's what I said, I almost need this as a
Yeah.
advice.
Well, I mean, they're done speaking. I could have turned them down.
I think I'm gonna do real estate business.
All right, Steve.
Everybody else is there.
What do you think they would gift us, Gab?
Before y'all start, did anyone want a hard copy of the audit book? I did have extra copies.
Judy is
We have it in the packet, but, it is in the packet, but it's one-sided.
Make sure you get it right.
September 2023.
Here's Scott's, correction for correct.
Okay, there was
Julie's gonna crack that whip.
no action taken in executive session. We'll be adjourned.